Well, hello, everybody. Pastor Andy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. We are kicking things off here on Monday, March the 22nd. And always here ready to kick off a new week. And as always, my prayers are with each and every one of you. We've got a continuing, growing audience here as people seem to really enjoy what we're doing here and making it simple. Because the premise of everything that I am trying to do is to introduce you to the person of Jesus. And I'm doing it without any frills or thrills. I'm doing it without any big words. I'm doing it without any complicated rituals or ceremonies or anything else. It is just me and you sitting down here at my table and having a conversation. We're taking the Bible, we're using the scriptures as our background to build our conversation off of. Because as we started in the book of John, in chapter 1, with the phrase, in the beginning. And yes, that is certainly a reference, if you will, to the book of Genesis as we talk about in the beginning as it comes to creation. But if we fast forward to the book of John, we'll see that in that beginning, nothing was created that he didn't create. So Jesus always has been, and he always will be. One of the things that I struggle with is watching people aimlessly walk around with no real understanding about this. Many have attended a church somewhere along the way. Others have rejected that idea because of the premise of religion or the different things. And that really concerns me. Yes, I don't shy away from nor hide, nor am I embarrassed over the fact that I am a minister. And I have been for nearly 21 years now. Prior to that, I was a police officer. I've got a multitude of experiences along the way. And in the process of that, one of the things that has become a passion to me is getting people to understand Jesus from the point of what his desire is for us. And that's a very simple one. He wants to have a relationship with you. That's it. He wants to spend eternity with you. He wants to make your life better. Now, does that come with challenges? Absolutely. Does it come with promises that every single day is going to be perfect? No, that would be a lie. You know, many people are turned off by the things they've seen on television as it pertains to matters of faith. Many people have gone to church and they're turned off. Maybe they don't like the style of music. Maybe they don't like the style of speaking. Or whatever excuse can be found. But see, at the end of the day, when we explore the person of Christ, he meets you where you are. You may be the CEO of the biggest company in the world. You may be a homeless person. You may be a mom, a dad. You may be a single parent. You may be wherever you are in life. There is no class system in heaven. There is no class system in the eyes of God. We've divided ourselves, friends. We have done a phenomenal job of creating angst and creating turmoil between ourselves because we've allowed things to get in the way. And one of the beautiful things about a relationship with Christ is none of those things exist in his eyes. For example, the woman at the well, the scriptures tell us she was married 5 times. And in the process of that conversation, it was learned that she was living with someone at that time by whom she was not married to. A clear story, an illustration, if you will, of someone seeking refuge, of someone seeking happiness in relationship with another person, only to find heartache and discontent. One ends, you move to another. How many of us can relate to that? I know I can. Not proud of that, but certainly there have been moments in life to where you didn't want to be alone, and one thing didn't work out, and you moved on to another, and it became a problem. This is where she was at. Societally, she could have been rejected. Certainly at that time, that was unheard of. She could have been shamed and called every name in the book and whatever the case. It was also the fact that she was from a different culture, possibly even a different race, if you will. The Jews and the Samaritans were basically sworn enemies. They weren't supposed to talk to each other. They weren't supposed to have anything to do with one another. Yet still, here she finds herself at the well, coming to draw water. And along comes Jesus. Now again, he's a Jew, she's a Samaritan. By societal rules, he's not supposed to talk to her, and she's certainly not supposed to talk to him because she is of a lower class. Jesus initiates the conversation. And he says to her, "Would you draw me a drink of water?" And the conversation continues on from there. She says, "Why is it that you would talk to me? You're a Jew. I'm a Samaritan. Why would..." And while we're not given the entire context of the conversation, obviously word for word, the gist that we get out of it is his response to her was very simply to say, "Who came up with that? Who said I can't talk to you? Why would I not talk to you?" I've had people in my office over the years that said, "I'm so glad we could have this conversation because it felt nice to be able to be talked to. Nobody would talk to me." And my response was much the same, not comparing myself to Jesus by any means, but my response was, why wouldn't I? How do we ever get to know anything if we don't talk to one another? How do we ever get to accomplish anything if we don't talk to one another? How do we ever fix anything if we don't work together? And I am not talking about politics or policies or anything else. I'm talking about the human condition, the brokenness of one another, the people that are struggling with addiction, the people that are struggling with whatever issues they've got in life, marital issues, financial issues. When do we not grab the concept we need one another? And in the process of that, the glue that will hold it all together is our faith in Christ. The Bible tells us in the book of Acts that the first church, when they came together, they had differences. And it said they set those differences aside, which again is an acknowledgement that they were there. They had some. And in the process of understanding what was more important, coming together in a common cause or bickering and fighting over who likes steak and who likes chicken. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're both going to eat. You just have what you want and I'll have what I want, and it won't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's like going to a baseball game. If you have a hot dog and the other guy next to you has a hamburger, it doesn't matter. They're both enjoying the ball game. So the first church saw that, and they said, okay, you know what? Just because Bill likes this and Charlie likes that and Heidi likes this and Tammy likes that, why can't we come together in worship? Because we all agree on that. Friends, we've lost our way here in our nation. We've allowed politics to divide us. We've allowed culture to divide us. We've allowed class and finances and everything else to divide us. Jesus wants to bring us together. Our passage for today continues in chapter 1. Jesus has been asked by those two that were following John, who are now following him. They said, "We want to spend the day with you. Where do you live? We want to sit down and talk to you. We want to know more." And he tells them in verse 39, "Come and see." How beautiful is that? That invitation. He says, "Come and see." Now, again, this wasn't about any prideful moment or arrogance. He was saying, if you want to know, you come. The door is open, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. You can come and sit down and talk to me. And it says they came and they saw where he dwelt and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. So that was either 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 10 o'clock in the morning, depending on which time frame you're going by, Jewish or Roman. When Jesus says here this simple response, "Come and see," what was he saying? It was something actually much deeper than what they anticipated, because they were looking for an answer. Most certainly, without a doubt, they were looking for an answer. They didn't know how he would respond. They didn't know what he would say or do. Just like when Peter later, as we'll get to that point sometime down the road in our time, in our discussions, is in the boat and the Lord is walking on the water, one of those supernatural moments. And Peter says unto him, "I want to be out there where you are." Jesus gave him a one-word response. He said, "Come." This is the invitation he's given these two right now. He's saying, come and see. He said, in other words, come along and see for yourself. If you want to know about me, you want to know about where I live. This was so much more than just a literal place. See, this was the prelude, if you will, to when he would give the proclamation of follow me. Now, typically in life, who do we follow? Generally someone we trust, or at least we hope that we can. You stop in a strange town. How do I get here or there? Well, I could tell you, but you wouldn't find it. Just follow me and I'll show you. You hope they know where they're going. But we do. We jump in the car and take off. Jesus says, follow me. These two have said, I want to know. The door is open. In other words, come and I'll show you. I'll show you. Now, this again was so much more than about where he was living. They weren't going to check out his house or his tent or his apartment or whatever it was he was living in. That's not what this was about, friends. This was so much deeper than that. This was about heaven. This was about eternity. See, we're told here they wanted to spend the day with him. They wanted to get to know him. And Jesus said, come on. This is the message that he has for you today. Many people don't know where they're going today. In church terminology, we use the word lost. In regular conversation, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. But my question to you is it worse to not know where you are or worse to not know where you're going? Because if you don't know where you are, someone can tell you that. I'm on the corner of 5th and, Elm or whatever. But I have no idea where I'm headed. That is a hopeless, aimless, very dark place. Jesus says, come to me, and I will give you rest. Come to me, and I'll show you things that will blow your mind. Your challenge, my challenge, everyone's challenge is, are you willing to go? Are you willing to trust him? It takes a level of faith to say yes. But the very first thing that it takes is the willingness to get up, the willingness to give him a try. Because you see, the invitation has been given. Here, these two said, we want to see where you are. And he said, come on. That's an invitation to follow. That's an invitation to say, you want to get better? He would challenge the one that was laying before the gate. They said he was before that gate, in front of the pool of Bethsaida, for 38 years. 38 years laying in one spot, hoping somebody would help him out, but never really doing a whole lot about it. Jesus saw him in that condition. He says, do you want to get better? And he said, well, yeah. And he said, then get up. What beautiful, simple advice. Do you want to get better today? Do you want to find out where you need to be today? Then get up. That's what God is telling you today. Get up. Don't stay where you are. If you want to get somewhere, you've got to move. That's not being mean. That's not being insensitive. See, friends, we're in a quandary right now in our society, in our nation. We're seeing things that we could never believe. Yet still, what many do about it is nothing. Complain, gripe, get on, the social media and make statements about it, but never do anything. Jesus said, come and see. That's an action invitation. If you want it, you come get it. It's available and you can have it, and it won't cost you a thing financially. But you have to be the one to do it. That is a challenge for each and every one of us here today at Making It Simple. How far are you willing to go? And how quick are you willing to get up and get started? That'll be our challenge for the day, friends, as we're going to continue in this study from the book of John and into the person and character and the awesome nature of Jesus. God bless you. Thank you for joining me today here at Making It Simple. I am so looking forward to continuing this conversation with you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Take care.